Hello, my name is Desiree Rinke, and it is my wonderful pleasure to present Dee Couch, one of the 2020 Faithful Women Honorees. Dee began attending Village Church at the age of 6 with her parents, Sister Lisa and Brother David, who, by the way, I'm sure could tell you a few good stories. She also loved it when Reverend Manili brought live animals into the special worship services. Dee has continued worshiping at Village. And she was on her way home on a business trip on a flight, and she looked out her window and was looking at the beautiful night sky, being closer to the moon and closer to the stars. And she realized there was something she just was missing in her life. And it was at that time Dee decided to become more intentional about her life here at Village. She immediately signed up for a Bible study class with Bob Moss, and that was only the beginning of Dee's involvement here at Village. Dee is a member of the College of Elders, served as deacon, served on worship committee, computer ministry, which she recently taught a class, Connectional Ministry, co-chaired a Connectional small group, nominating committee, emergency response team, and so much more. She is what I like to say, a quiet leader. She does not hesitate to take on a task that needs to be done, and she especially prefers those that let her stay in the background. If you want to find Dee on a Sunday morning, you will most likely find her in the narthex, ushering, coordinating communion servers, and occasionally reading scripture. One of the things I really admire about Dee is her determination to live a full life. She shared that she learned this from her parents. A strong work ethic, but you had to balance it with fun, which she does very well with that abundant amount of energy that she has. She loves to make time for her family, including her 3 nephews, 1 niece, and now her 2 precious grandnephews. She attends various sporting events and can be seen wearing her KU and Royals apparel on game day. She plays on 2 soccer teams, as I found out only as she was sporting a sling for several weeks. And when I asked her what happened, she told me she got hurt her shoulder playing goalie and was already counting the days till the doctor would let her play soccer again. Dee and I officially met at the beginning of a weekly Bible study Diane Quainton started. Little did we realize we would be continuing doing those weekly disciple Bible studies for many years to come. Dee lives her faith. She doesn't need to talk about it, though she does love a good spirited conversation. Dee always has a positive outlook, one that resonates her hope and trust in God that will all work out. Through the years, I've seen her tackle several things that life has placed in her way, whether personal or involving those she loves, and yet she always remained hopeful and assured that her faith in God would get her through. Dee, I'm so thankful for that night airplane flight when you chose to be more intentional to be involved here at Village. You have inspired me and others by living a life full of faith, love, energy, and laughter. Micah 8:6-8b is the Bible verse that comes to mind when I think about you. What does the Lord require of you but to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God? You are an example of this for all of us.
When I was 6 years old, my parents came here. And I remember getting my first Bible from Dr. Bob. That's a very vivid memory I have. I still have it, still read it. And I remember the first Easter we came here, and we didn't get here on time and had to sit in the chapel, and my mom was not happy about that, so lessons learned. But I think for most people that have been here any time at all, they have their own Why Village Matters story. And for me, my family had always just been ridiculously blessed and lucky. And then 2013 happened, and we just had a lot of things happen at once. My mom, who was just the absolute poster person for good health, got sick. She was very sick, had to be hospitalized with pneumonia. It was a very trying time for my sister and brother and I, because we were juggling our jobs and our families and trying to help our 90-year-old dad, who was just lost without mom in the house. And then we finally got mom back home after being out of the house for 6 weeks. We got her home, and 10 days later my dad died unexpectedly. So we just kind of had everything going on. And I remember the day my dad passed away and leaving the hospital. And emotionally, I was just done. I was done. And Village to the rescue. The way my family was treated, especially my mom, it was just beyond anything we could have ever asked. Meg did Dad's memorial service. She'd never met him. The day of his memorial service, she got up and talked about him like she'd known him all her life, made it meaningful for my family. And so that's just one example of what Village has done. I want to thank my family, my sister and brother, who I still love to be around, and nieces and nephews, and now 2 little great-nephews that have brought a whole new light into my life, a whole new perspective on things. And definitely want to thank personally Cindy Wilcox, who I work with in Connectional Ministries and who's given me the opportunity to lead. And to Tony Liu, who many, many years ago decided that computers could be a ministry, and he too's given me the opportunity to channel my love for teaching. And I love volunteering here, but I am the beneficiary of so many really good, dedicated people that show up to serve communion and show up to teach the computer classes and show up to usher and show up to work on the committees, all these different things that we do. I get way too much credit for what I do. I don't do anything by myself around here, but always very grateful and always will be grateful to Village.